Sleep Story, The Magic Dimension. Fall asleep as you listen. A story about divine connection, courage, and self-love. Welcome. Please refrain from listening while driving or doing anything else. Make sure you'll be undisturbed. Turn out the lights and lay down in a very comfortable position. Close your eyes and begin to relax down for sleep. This is just a story to listen to as you gently drift off to sleep. It is special though, because it contains themes to do with courage, self-love, and divine higher aspects of yourself having your back. Even though you're falling asleep as you listen, your subconscious mind still hears the positive themes contained within. My voice may become distant as you drift off to sleep, and that's perfectly okay. Just relax and let go. Here we go. Standing at the train station, on the platform, ready for a fun day out. You're experiencing a wonderful sense of well-being. Like all is very well with the world. The world is your oyster. So relaxed and free. Everything is falling into place. Everything is in perfect, divine order. A little unsure of your destination though, you're feeling divinely guided and ready for some new and wonderful experiences. The sun shines down on this ground level station. It's a beautiful day, and the sky is the bluest of blues, almost unreal in its depth and intensity. A pretty ordinary looking train arrives, along with a slight blustery breeze as it pulls into the station. All the people on the platform start piling into this train, but yours is the next one. The next train, you feel, is going somewhere far more interesting. Pretty much everyone who was waiting has boarded this train, and you stand back as it begins to pull away. Full of people now. You can see their faces through the shiny windows of this modern train. It's gleaming in the sunlight. A kind of electrical sound starts up as it moves away. And off it goes. It's only a few moments until your train arrives. As you look around, you notice there's only a few people remaining at this station. A lady sitting on a metal bench, reading a book, and a man with a cap on, laughing and joking with a boy that could be his son. The vibe of this station is very pleasant, and it really is such a lovely day to go somewhere nice. It sounds like your train is coming. It's about to arrive. But wait a moment. This train sounds different to the last. Less of an electrical humming sound and more of a chuffing sound. It's far more clunky and heavy sounding than the last train. Here it is, and how strange indeed. It seems to be an old steam train, arriving right here in front of you. It has large wheels and a drive rod attached to them horizontally, going round and round. Puff, 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 it goes, under the power of steam. It's shaped like a large metal cylinder on wheels, pulling along old but perfectly maintained carriages, and the smoke billows out of the smokestack at the top. This magical-looking steam train lets out a little screech as it grinds to a halt, and pulling up level with you is one of the wooden-clad old carriages, shiny as if brand new. The steam engine itself is a magnificent royal blue. How on earth can an old steam train be here at this station? You look around at the other people still here on the station platform, and none of them have even turned to look at the steam train. It's like it's completely invisible to them. They haven't seen it or heard it pull in. They're simply carrying on with what they were doing. How odd is that? A train conductor steps out of this grand old train and opens the door of the carriage in front of you. He's dressed in a very smart, yet rather old-fashioned uniform. It must be time to climb aboard. It feels like a good idea to climb aboard, just an intuitive feeling you have. On you go, and step up into the wonderful locomotive, seemingly the only passenger. The conductor calls out, "All aboard," yet no one else seems aware of this train, let alone planning to board it. It somehow feels like this is a special train just for you. Taking a seat at one of the tables now on the train. The seats look very comfy, and it's also vintage feeling, yet has a certain magical glow about it. It's a wooden table in front of you, its varnish all reflective in the sunlight beaming in through the windows. This carriage smells of flowers, a little like the kind of scent ladies from the 1950s would wear. You shimmy yourself along to the window seat, and you're facing forwards in the direction of travel. Chuff, chuff, chuff. This old steam train is now leaving the station. Would you care for a drink? The steward asks, appearing from nowhere. And you go ahead and order your favourite drink from the cart. The steward places it onto the table atop a little soft paper coaster. How lovely this is. The scenery of the city goes by in the window. And just as you wonder about your destination, the smartly dressed steward mentions to you that we will arrive in just a few minutes. Where though, you ask? And the steward replies, you know, that place where everyone could go, but few realize they can. What's it called? You ask. Sacred Way. We'll be there shortly. Interesting. Sacred way. Perhaps there's something sacred about it. The steward makes their way along the otherwise empty carriage, and you turn to observe the view out the window. The train chuffs and puffs its way along as the city fizzles out and the suburban areas come into view. You see a little play park with kids happily swinging on the swings, and their playful excitement resonates with you as you go on your pleasant adventure. Fewer homes go by now as this happy, jolly train enters the countryside. It looks like a carpet of green all over the land, broken up by clumps of trees. How relaxing it is to be carried along, gently rocking back and forth, observing glorious meadows of green grass and wild flowers. A little flock of birds flies over a hill and changes direction to land in a bushy tree. It must be the perfect spot to land and feast on some berries. How relaxed you feel, so calm and relaxed. And the colours of this place seem to be incredibly vivid, becoming even more so the further you go. The blue sky has a few clouds in it now, which seem to be made of the fluffiest cotton wool, and for some reason sparkly in the light. All the scenery outside seems to have a certain radiant glow and sparkle to it. What is this sacred way place you're going to, you wonder? When just then, the brakes are applied. Oh, we must be arriving. Pulling into a station now as the train slows right down. A sign moves into view outside, showing the name of the station. Sacred Way, it says. We're here. Although you're not too sure why you're here, it just feels like a good idea. You get up and leave the train, having finished your drink, of course, and the conductor kindly opens the door for you with a clunk click, and out you step onto the station platform. Now, it's not exactly a normal everyday station. There's a platform, yes, but rather than a building there, it's a wooden trellis archway with wonderful honeysuckle plants growing all over it. The scent is so refreshing and sweet. Wow, the energies of this place are fantastic. It's like being wrapped in a cozy, soft blanket of love and appreciation. The train conductor calls over to you. We'll be here when you get back. How odd that is that the conductor says the train will wait for me. Thank you, you call out. The whole journey has been nothing short of miraculous, but seeing as you're in the mindset of going with the flow, let's continue. As you head through the arch, the ground beneath your feet turns into a soft pathway, soft like a carpet, but simply earth beneath your feet and a little dust perhaps, and the path seems to lead into a garden. You carry on along this path leaving the train station behind, and find yourself in the most beautiful garden you've ever seen. A rose garden. There are flower beds and lawns either side of the path, and the bushiest, greenest trees here and there. Again you observe this twinkly glow about everything, as if there's a touch of magic in the air. Perhaps there is. Your intuition is really firing up now, telling you that this is a magical place, a garden of dreams, of realizations, of something special to make you feel even more fantastic than you already are. There are rose bushes in bloom, in reds, creams, pinks, yellows, and even blue. And little soft rose petals float through the air as if carried by some undetectable breeze, because the air is warm and still. Feeling drawn to continue forward, you notice there's someone sitting on a bench up ahead. It's a woman in long flowing white robes. As you grow closer, she notices you and smiles so radiantly that you can feel her welcome wholeheartedly. It warms your heart to see someone who you don't even know welcome you so warmly. Yet there's something familiar about this lady. Approaching her, you see that she has silvery hair that's long and braided into 2 French braids from her forehead, over her head, and down into 2 braids either side of her neck, down to her waist. She has the most beautiful face, and her eyes tell you she is a wise woman, perhaps angelic in nature. "Welcome," she says. "My name is Muriel. I know you can't stay long, but I need to show you 3 things to help you on your path." "I'm very, very old," she says. "I may not look it, but I've been here a long time, tending these roses." You introduce yourself, but she seems to have a look in her eyes as if she already knows you and has been waiting for you to visit. Muriel leads you a little further into the garden. What 3 things does she want to show me, you wonder? You notice how warm, safe, and cared for you feel in this place. How relaxed you feel as you take in your pleasant surroundings on this beautiful day. A few moments later, you reach a little circular area of pristinely kept grass surrounded by rose bushes. Upon the circle of grass is a friendly white goose. It has a long neck, orange legs, and webbed feet, and the most beautiful pristine feathers. The goose lets out a honk honk goose sound as if to say hello. Muriel explains that this goose has had many incarnations as many people, but now he's resting by taking a simple lifetime as a goose. In many of his lifetimes, he's been a wise teacher, helping many, many people understand the nature of the universe and how to live a happy, fulfilling life. Most of all, though, what he loves to teach is that you're always loved and cared for by your higher self, that you're protected by your higher self, who's always with you. He wants you to know this, and with that, the goose stretches out his snowy white wings and flaps them 3 times, and a feather detaches from one of his wings and floats over to you. Drifting so silently and delicately, as if time is standing still, you open your hands to take the feather, and it lands right across your palms. Take this feather with you, says Muriel, to remind you that whenever you see a white feather, your higher self is watching over you and protecting you. How wonderful this is. Thanking the goose very much, you run the feather through your fingers